his MBA in finance and strategic business valuation, again from Mac. Uh, then there is Zivenza. She's doing her BCom second year right now at Mac. And then there is myself, Yogesh. I'm still pursuing my MBA, and I'm also specializing like Umang in finance and strategic business valuation. Uh, with this, there are a few things we would like to go over today. First of all, I would like to thank both you, Saad and Saddam, for giving us this opportunity to work on managerial accounting and taxation. For some of us, it was a very new experience where we had to get into a lot of external research to get information, as well as rely on our class notes as well to find out what we were missing out on. So thanks for that. And you guys were really accommodating when it came to our exams and our busy schedule along with school. So thank you for that. So over the course of this presentation, we'll be going over the accounting softwares, the financial statements and taxation. All the work that has been done collectively as a team. Uh, and now I'll be handing it over to Asbah to take you over the accounting softwares.
Thank you, Yogesh. So the part that I mainly focused on was the accounting softwares for small businesses in Canada. So in the competitive Canadian landscape, we realized that there is an appropriate need to select the right accounting tool because it's of paramount importance, especially for a startup like ImmiCan, to ensure that it has an efficient financial management system in place. So when we were researching upon this, we were talking to industry professionals. We were talking to industry professionals, reading up online reviews, reading up online testimonies from experts in the industry. So the five prominent softwares that came to us are presented on the slide in the form of a table. So the division we have did while analyzing this were into into eight major categories, consisting of the consisting of their features: usability, pricing, scalability, integration, reporting, customer support, and mobile app. So when we were when we were talking about this amongst ourselves, when we were researching upon this as well, we felt that the two major softwares are that would be of use to McMaster and it would be important for me to discuss over here would be QuickBooks Online as well as Zero. So Yogesh, can you move on to the next slide, please? So what matters to us? So when we were discussing and we were like eliminating our choices so that we get down to two major options, we felt that ImmiCan needs a software that has like a user interface that is A, friendly to use, and B, it could be worked upon by any non-technical expert. So that realizing this, we meant that ImmiCan is in the growth phase right now, and it would be a very paramount importance again to ensure that they do not have any overheads, in the sense that they do not have any accounting team on hand all the time to make just use the software and integrate into it. So user interface and as well as the ease of use was the one thing that all of us collectively felt is most important. Secondly, again, as ImmiCan is in is in its like initial phase right now, we felt that the pricing and plan is also of importance here. We do not want to increase our overall expenses. We do not want to increase our monthly subscription cost. So Zero and QuickBooks both offer like the lowest in the market. Zero was starting from 18 per month, and QuickBooks had diverse plans. All of them were averaging around 25 per month. So the third thing that we felt that would matter to us most would be the third party integration part. So Zero basically supports integration with over like 800 apps and different business functions. So this meant that like all the different units in ImmiCan can like basically import all their data, all the stuff that they have been working on into the software we're going to use. So which meant that there's going to be less hassle when basically integrating and moving over to a new accounting system. So we realize that currently Excel has been primarily being used, but as the operations would increase, as ImmiCan would increase, expand over Canada, and increase in the terms of contract and subscription, are seamless and easy to use software would be of paramount importance. Uh, Yogesh, can you move on to the next slide? So when the two recommendations between Zero and QuickBooks, Zero was the one that we again collectively agreed upon would be the most beneficial for ImmiCan to use. For this, there were four reasons. QuickBooks was good. QuickBooks was great. QuickBooks had like a lot of features, but with the advanced features came complexity. So we felt that Zero was user friendly and scalable, especially for the team to be used by non-accounting professionals. The third-party app integration facilities were great as well. There were robust reporting capabilities and mobile app features as well. So in terms of, we do realize that another team has recommended Sage for the software to ImmiCan, but again, we felt that the software was overly complex in the sense that it does offer like a lot of functionality, but for a team like ImmiCan who does not have like any accounting experts on permanent payroll, that would just be an overkill for simple needs, and it would just add on to the cost. Another drawback of that software was a limited cloud functionality. So as we are expanding, as we are like diversifying over different provinces, we felt that the cloud functionality feature would be of again immense importance here, so that there's like a seamless update in when like different parts of the Canada or different parts of the world can like easily access whatever the other person has updated on the sheet. So this software also had like limited functionality, and as compared to Zero had like a cloud access available at like the minimum cost in the industry. And lastly, we felt that there were import limitations. So you're talking to an industry expert who has been working with Sage for quite some long time. The one con that he was mentioning again and again was that when they were moving on, when they were migrating to Sage in their initial days, the the only drawback that they felt was that the moving on from Excel and Access primarily to Sage was very complex. So, and a lot of a lot of their data was lost in the transfer. So for this reason, they had to like involve a lot of manual labor and put in like a lot of TDS hours, which again like increased the cost. So we felt that this is gonna like overly complicate things, and Zero on the other hand would be quite simple and user friendly, especially for like a business who's in their initial growth phase. So that's it from the accounting and software part. Moving on to the financial statements, Umar will take over.
Uh, Hi, Sad. So this was the most difficult task for the whole team because although we already had the slide bean template, it was there were a lot of formulas and a lot of complex things that we needed to understand. So most of the time went into understanding the whole template and how to operate it. We fixed a lot of formulas, a lot of things in the dashboard. Apart from that, we didn't have much data to work on. We fixed the capital expenditure in the depreciation schedule. Next slide. So based on that, now you have a schedule where we assumed that we made the expenditures for the computers and other office furnitures, and that would be depreciated over the period it is in the depreciation schedule. You can also add the expenditures you have made, or you will be making over the next few months or the next few years, and that will automatically update your depreciation schedule and your book value in your balance sheet. Next. And last but not the least, the cost of goods sold. We saw that the the model was incorporating the revenues and how to calculate the revenues, but there was nothing on the cost of goods sold to calculate your gross margin. So based on the cost breakdown that you provided us, we just broke it down to months. Like you gave us the yearly cost of all the things mentioned here. So we broke it down into months, and then we added it in our model that gave us the cost of goods sold. So as to get down to the gross profit margin. Next. So that was all for the financial statements. Now I'll hand over to Jay-Z, who will take you over to the taxation.
So there are three main categories of tax for our company. The first one is sales tax. So it's also called HST, and the HST rate in Ontario is 13%, comprising a federal portion of 5% and provincial portion of 8%. And businesses are responsible for collecting and remitting HST on taxable goods or services sold to the consumers. And a minimum threshold of 30,000 per quarter is required to file sales tax returns. And initially, annual filing is permitted until the company reaches 1.5 million in revenue. Revenue between 1.5 million and 6 million qualifies for quarterly returns. And annually turnover exceeding 6 million requires monthly tax returns. And for annual filing, it allows a 3-month window after a fiscal year end of December 31st. And quarterly and monthly filers have 30 days after each period's end to file returns and remit taxes. And the collection are not considered company income, but are collected on behalf of the government from the consumers. And the second one is payroll tax, if applicable. In our case, we mostly hire contractors. So at this point, we don't have to collect payroll tax. We don't have to pay payroll tax. And these taxes are deducted from employees' wages and include contributions to programs such as EI, employee insurance, and the Canada Pension Plan, CPP. And the last one, which is the largest one, is corporate tax. So corporate income tax vary based on the taxable income. Is 12.2% for the first 500,000 of taxable income, and 26.5% on taxable income between 500,000 and 10 million, and is 27.5% on taxable income exceeding $10 million. And the income subject to corporate tax includes revenue generated from the company core business activities, such as sales of goods or services, as well as income from investments, capital gains, and other sources. And after deducting allowable expenses, deductions, and credits, the remaining taxable income is subject to corporate tax at the applicable rates. And filing is done annually with a 6-month window following the fiscal year and provided for submissions, regardless of the revenue status. And that's all we have for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys. This was a very comprehensive breakdown of uh, pretty much how the tax system works, what software to use when we are looking for accounting, as well as a bit of a breakdown of what we can expect for the first couple of years in terms of finances. Great stuff. Mm, I do have a question for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, sorry, so by the way, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yeah, you can just so this is an initial, so it's Jesse Zhang. So you can just call me Jesse. Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse. Jesse, do you have the what you said right in your presentation in like a bullet point format, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. If you can share that, that would be awesome.
Okay. You want the report written down?
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that here. Just see how I can share my screen. Like you want to see that right now, right?
Not right now. I'll maybe send it over after.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no problem.
Okay.
I'll send you that
I guess
email.
we already sent it over to Saddam, the work we have done, the accounting
The
software doc and the taxation doc as well.
The report.
Yeah, the reports.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Going in reverse. So Umang, um, so we had a lot of issues with the formulas, right? Now, how about the dashboard? Like, do you have any feedback on that? Like, if we were to present it in a dashboard format, like
Uh,
how, yeah,
yeah, so the dashboard looks good now. So you just have to put down some data like the revenues and uh, any expenditures you make. So it'll be automatically populating the dashboard. So I guess the dashboard is good to go now.
sounds good. And is the Excel sheet also shared
Yeah,
along with the report? Okay, so we can call it like a briefcase, right?
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Asbak, now, I believe in regards to the choosing the accounting software, right?
Yeah.
I know QuickBooks has been like recommended by a lot of accountants that are currently using. But I also know that Zero is probably like gaining favorite, right? Uh, Like, what's your personal opinion on like QuickBook versus Zero?
So, personally, Saad, I haven't like used both of them like over the course of my professional academic journey so far, but I was talking to experts like particularly on this subject because like I felt that both the software had like sort of like they were like covering uh, like the top three needs that I addressed initially. So I felt that QuickBooks, like what I learned from them was QuickBooks was like getting overly complex in the sense that it did offer advanced functionality and did cater to like a lot of things that basically Zero wasn't catering to, but the things weren't like a business on its day-to-day operations on its monthly cycles won't even use them. So they felt like what I learned was that it was overly complicating thing. It was just becoming like an overkill for simple needs, and in the sense that the wide array of features might make it sound appealing, might increase the software's rankings, and as a result, like this is probably the reason why it's called the number one software in Canada. But when like I was talking to people again who were actually using it, they felt that it was offering limited customization and it was just making small tasks more difficult and taking a long time. So this is like my personal take. Like again, and get to like fully delve into this and get to experience both of them.
Okay, sounds good. I would just like to add because I noticed this while I was banking for like last week. When we opened up the account on RBC, maybe it's specific to RBC, we saw that there was an option called like integrate with QuickBooks, right? So in my head, I was thinking like, so does it mean we don't have to like sit down with the monthly statements and basically reconcile, right? So things like that. Uh, maybe I don't know whether you know this or not, but just keep this also in consideration if you haven't already. That if like usability number one, number two is we're using banks, right? So is it integratable with banks, right? So maybe QuickBooks has a deal with RBC, maybe Xero has a deal with TD. We don't know that. That would be a great also to like kind of like one of the points to make like a decision factor, right? Because it's also one of the most time consuming. Because if we're looking at it, the usability as well as the time consumption, that also saves a lot of time too. Okay, cool. I guess Yogesh. So from your entire experience, right? Like
Yeah.
understanding the project, debriefing, um, like working together. What would you say like your three key like learning is and probably like three key outcome from this?
Oh, I think the first one I would say is time management. There was a lot going on with school exams, and then yeah, like working with the team because everyone has different schedules. So putting together like a specific time to discuss our points and going through the Excel. That's I think the first key takeaway that sometimes you have to make compromises and like get along with other people's schedule as well. Apart from that, I think there was times when we did not have a lot of information on our hands to do specific works, so we had to take our own assumptions to get along with the work that we were planning to finish in a particular week or so. So yeah, that's the second. I would say that if you're taking assumptions, take realistic ones. Like sometimes we just took very unrealistic assumptions. Like one was, I would say, with respect to depreciation and amortization, where I just assumed that your AWS subscription would last for entirety and then the prices would remain the same. So that was a wrong assumption on my end, where we had to just go back and then fix it a little bit. I think the third one I would say is like initially when I had emailed to you in Ripon itself, I had mentioned that we wanted to work on financial modeling as a team, and we could not get into it because there were a lot of people into it. Then we had to shift to managerial accounting. So this is not something that either me, Umang, Asbak, or Jay-Z have expertise in. So we had to like go through our old school notes and do a lot of self-study as well to get better clear concepts or understanding of what we need to do, because this has real life implications on your company and the employees of your company as well. So it makes like it would have been a very bad image or a reputational issue if in case we did something wrong and then it led to something going down the road, that because if we didn't do a good job you would have a bad impression of students coming from Mac as a whole as well. So we had to keep those things into account when we were working on it. So yeah, three things to sum it up. One would be time management, second would be assumptions and as a whole working with limited information, and third would be considering of external factors which are implicated on small businesses.
Awesome. Oh man, that was a very well said. Uh, um, that was actually very well said. Yeah. Um, my feedback is like, because we're reflecting. Now, this has been like an educational journey, right? Obviously, like when we started working, we didn't have a lot of information. We knew where to go, but we didn't know how to get there, right?
Yeah.
So this presentation not only like provides a comprehensive idea of like how to actually run it, right? But also gives us like, okay, so if we, further down the line, what can we expect, right? And it also comes down to like what are the assumptions that we have made in the like the financials, right? Like for example, the AWS cost, right? It's something that it's like it acts as like a multiple, right? So you take in like $10, next month would be like probably 20 or 30, things like that. Great, awesome. No, great job, guys. One last thing is, are you okay if we post this on social media, on LinkedIn, and tag everyone?
You want to like put the whole video out or just I'm fine with pretty much everything. The team.
What about Asbak and Umang and uh, Chelsea?
You mean the
Yeah,
recording
I'm
of the
fine with it.
presentation, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Asbak?
Yeah, it's cool with me as well.
Okay, Umang?
He had to take a call. He stepped away for a minute.
Okay,
Uh, I'll check with him and then we'll just send a message out to either you or Saddam on Slack, and
sounds
then you
good.
can just post it. Yeah.
And also, like, I would like to give a huge thanks to Saddam because he
Oh yeah.
literally has organized, like, he has made something out of nothing, right? Um, Coordinating has been really tough. It's one of the craziest things because we always have to juggle with like 10 different things like in one single day. So, like him managing that, like organizing everything, like coordinating with the entire team, making sure who's who's available and what was a huge factor. Last but not the least, I want to take a picture, right? Now, how can I do that? I don't know how to do that. Does anyone know how to do that?
I can just take a screenshot if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Sandam, do you want to come on video?
Or
Actually,
like
now
we can call up Umang.
we
Okay,
can do it later.
sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys, ready? One. You say ready. One, two, three.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.